TL Havens with Lone Pine Bushcrafters, and I'm going to head out into the timber today. The goal is to kind of see what kind of rocks I'm dealing with in some creek beds, and to see if I can't put together and find my own flint. I have my own steel. I made it with the suggestion of what Coal Crackers Bushcrafters suggested with an old file. And so I have a steel. I'm going to try to go find some flint. I don't know if I'll be successful. Now, one thing that I grew up knowing, I grew up on horseback, I grew up out in the country, grew up in rattlesnake country. Now, I wouldn't say it was dense rattlesnake, but there are rattlesnakes and things like that where we're at. And so for those who don't know, when you're out in the timber, when you're out in the woods, you just need to be very aware of your surroundings, where you're stepping, what you're stepping on, and you need to be able to listen. Now, sometimes I put earbuds in, and I really don't recommend doing it. When you cut off your hearing, other senses have to be up to par. Now, sense of smell is weak on a human. Even the most acute sniffers are geared toward smelling certain things. So hearing is very important. Hearing and sight is very important. And I want to show you just some example. If we look at kind of the terrain of where I'm at, you see there's a small creek and where I'm stepping. And so you see these logs here, and you really have to be cautious, because depending on the time of day and the time of year, snakes could be coiled up underneath an old log or you know, in some brush, and so you really have to pay attention. Now, rattlesnakes blend in to this so well that my vision, I really have to be watching where I'm stepping. Not only that, you don't want to step wrong and hurt yourself. And I know a lot of people that have actually stepped wrong, broke an ankle, a leg, fell, hit their head, even got impaled by sticks that are sticking up as they fell, and so that becomes a problem. I've been blessed all my life. With that being said, let's continue on. One of the things that I decided to do since I was down here is go ahead and get material to make char. So I may not build a fire, but I want to go ahead and get the stuff in my tin, or collect some stuff, so that I can make that later. So as you see, there's some old logs. It looks like sponge wood, possibly. A lot of the stuff is dry. It's been raining a lot here, but even so, it's still dry. So I'm going to make sure that I get the right type of material. In addition, when I was talking earlier about the snakes, old logs like this, they will crawl up in. So, I'm cautious to step near them. Definitely don't want to stick my hand down in there around them. And even right now, with the leaves and stuff covered in there, there could potentially be one in there. So one thing that I know has been a question that's been asked is, see, I'm finding no rock in this area whatsoever. I mean, there's nothing in the creeks, up on the banks. There's just little to not. I've not found one huge stone. And I guess if I had a mallet, I could break it. I could try to but is it going to be worth the effort? If you don't find rock and you can't make a place for your fire, just one of the things, just having a place for your fire where it's not going to spread, because this whole area is littered with tinder for a fire, because the leaves of the trees and dead grass and stuff is still here. This is just early spring, so there's a lot of tinder. This place would catch fire and go into the fields and take this place out. So you got to control your fire that you have for warmth and for cooking. And so what if you can't find stones to protect the area? What you do is you clear an area and you dig down, and we'll discuss that in another video. Something I thought of, I'm walking around trying to find flint or things that could possibly be used with steel to make fire, and there's just nothing in this area. So what do? Well, if all you got's steel and you're looking for flint in this area, it may be very, very challenging, and so you're going to have to use another method for making fire, at which case I'm thinking a bow and drill at that point. So here's the culmination of my venture out into the timber today to try to find flint or to make fire. There was absolutely zero. I found one boulder. Okay, it was probably the size, was bigger than a basketball. Maybe not that big. Maybe the size of between a football and a basketball, somewhere in there. To split it open would have been just a lot of energy expended. I guess if I had no other means to do that or to make a fire, then I probably would have done that, but there were no rocks whatsoever. Also, I had to be very cautious this time of year. The snakes are going to be out. I've already explained about the tree trunks and the logs and the limbs. Did get material for char. The environment I was in today, I would have had to have used a bow and drill in order to do it. There was plenty of dry wood.